Hi guys, welcome to that video that always comes about halfway through a campaign where I will basically build up some of the bits and pieces that I've got from the various pledges and also show you some of the things in a bit more detail that have come along since the campaign started. Things like the chapel and the mill, which just didn't exist at the launch of the campaign. So I can show you a bit more detail about those. Now, what I've done here is I've got a 6 foot by nearly 3 foot this way, and I've just taken the battlefield pledge and I've taken the village pledge and I've just mixed it together, added the chapel, added the mill, and also a little bit of ruined building action as well. I have to say though, I'm only using kind of a fraction of those pledges. I just don't have the room to stick it all out in one go. I've got so much to show you. But just using just a couple of 3 buildings of the village and the tower and the ruins from the battlefield pledge, I've already got this really interesting and packed table. And of course, these are all designed at the same time to work seamlessly together. So it's really good to be able to kind of have like a fight in the sort of central part of the ruined monastery. Fight your way out through the graveyardy bit, and then like you attack the village and you can get inside the buildings there and have all sorts of fun over there. So I just wanted to give a little kind of setup to show you. You can see here I've got the new chapel add-on here, which I'll show you in more detail in a moment. I've got a couple of houses here. I've got the stores house, which is a really nice little house here with the big barn doors at the top and everything. And I've actually got the builder house stretch goal kind of thing going on here to show you that as well in a bit more detail. I've taken the tavern, I've completely ruined it and just left it ruined there, ruined a bit of a house over there. I've got the monastery, haven't got all the monastery out because I can't fit it on the table, but I've taken like a couple of pieces of the monastery and kind of really packed it in skirmishy to get it over there. I've got the lovely watchtower over here, which is really nice, and then I've got the mill and I've just got some things scattered off to one side over here. And I've decorated up with like the well and the little broken cart and the some gravestones and the fences as well. Lots and lots of fences. You can never have too many fences and walls and things. These are going to be the backbone of any of your gaming table. A fence, if you just lay it out like nice and long, will just expand across. If you just want a barrier, expand across. But when you've got things like the village and the battlefield as well for the walls, what you really want to do is the fences really kind of combine together. So you want to make these like little fenced out bits around each house, and you'll run out of fences really quickly. Which is why we're giving you lots and lots of extra fences and bits and pieces in your pledge. So you just got everything you need for a really solid gaming table, It's always the little bits and pieces like the fences and the cart and the little gravestones and bits and pieces like that really just bring your battlefield to life. And of course add to objectives and affect your gameplay. You're going to move slower over certain types of terrain, that kind of thing, and it really brings it to life. Okay, so you can see here that I've basically combined some stuff together. It looks really good. It's just a fraction of your pledge stuff, but it looks really, really, really nice. Okay, so one of the questions we did get asked was about the ruined buildings and if we could have a closer look at the ruined buildings. So what I've done is I've actually ruined a tavern over here and a house, and I just wanted to show you those particular buildings. So I'm going to come around here. Okay, so here we've got a nice little ruined, sort of like larger ruined house, and we've got a smaller ruined house. We've got a little plank here that you can kind of walk across and walk the plank, etc. This is basically the tavern, and what I've done to the tavern is I've basically just removed a couple of walls here and replaced it with ruined walls. I've removed one half of the top and replaced it with some ruined walls and a ruined floor. I've then taken the balconies, which are over here, one of them, and put it across the back here, and I've added some other ruined bits, and actually I've given this an extra level at the top here, put some stairs inside, and then I've left this bit intact, just so you can see how easy it is to kind of ruin a building, even one of the larger ones like the tavern. And again, from a gaming point of view, I didn't ruin this bit. You can come in here, you've got your floors, you've got your little doors and everything leading into the main part. So you've got that little roof bit there, just put that one to one side. And then you can, if I lift this top piece off here, you can see underneath that we've got the other areas all still fully intact. You've got lots of gaming areas of different sort of bits and pieces in there that you can get your miniatures into, and then of course the roof then just slots straight back on top, and this is really nice and strong, okay, and that gives you that kind of really nice ruined feel. And of course, once you've done that, what happens is you've got these extra spare walls left over. You could then take them and use them to sort of add on to another house or whatever, maybe making up a floor or do something. And then over here I've done exactly the same thing with an ordinary townhouse. I've literally just I've completely removed the original top floor but left the bottom floor intact, and I've taken one of these, which is probably similar to what you'll get in one of your little stretch goals basically, which is this little ruined bit here, and from the ruin pack I've added on this piece, and again that just slots nicely on the top of here like so, and you've still got like a little trapdoor action going on in there, and I've put a little plank across, okay, and I've done that. Now when you remove the top of that townhouse here, of course you're going to have that with its complete roof and everything else, and you can actually just put that somewhere else and have that as a new building. So when you take the townhouse and you ruin it, you generate a single level building over here, okay, and you'll be able to do something with that. So you're kind of expanding your set. You're not losing anything, as it were. Okay, so yeah, the ruined houses are really flexible. You can obviously just use the add-on to add completely new ruins to your existing set, or you can do what I've done and just basically start to ruin up one of your pledges. Okay, that works really well. Okay, so I'd also like to give you a little bit more detail, as I said, about some of the new stuff. I'm going to focus in on the chapel here because that was the most recent one. Here you've got the chapel building, really nice building. Again, this didn't exist when we launched the Kickstarter. It was on the wish list from all the backers, and it was one that I just thought I can see this in my head. So yeah, 45 hours later, boom, here it is. We've got a nice, really nice building, and I'm really happy with this building. Okay, you can see here that we've got our lovely building, and the way that I've kind of engineered this is so that you can get access to certain parts without others. So for example, if you want to get a guy and just get him in the door here, I've created the support for this onto the roof so that you can actually very carefully remove that part out and have this still with its underfloor and everything else, and you can get your hands in there, get yourself a miniature in there, open the door, close the door, etc. And that works really well. And you can see here it just slots back in under here like so. Yeah, that in itself is a really cool feature. You've then got this little bit at the top. This comes off here, and you can see I've already got a little bowman in here. Okay, so you've got a little area to put a miniature in there, yeah, they can shoot from that particular area. There's also a little trapdoor in there, which I've made very slightly smaller than normal, so you can, even on a 25mm base, you can stand a miniature over it even when it's open, and your miniature won't sort of disappear down a trapdoor, although that would be cool. You've then got that top bit there. If I lift off this roof here, we can go in and up to the upper floors. I'll just move this to one side. So as you can see, just in here, I've got an upper floor here, nice and sturdy and strong, and I've got here, if I remove this back piece as well, I might as well retake this piece here off as well. This is the other front roof I was just showing you, and you can see here already, you can see, so you can get your hands in, get some action, you can get right into here, you get right into here, right into here, and then you've got this wall here, like I said. If you remove that, it comes apart in this kind of section, and that just gives you full access, but keeping the big doors, which is a really nice part of the lower and upper floor, in one piece. And you've got full access here. There's a door through to here. You've got and everything you need basically. So I really love this building because it just has a really cool thematic kind of a little place to kind of hunker down into, which is really cool. And of course it just fits straight back on top, really nice and simple, just like that. And then we can pop the roof back on the top there, and we've got this cool little bit around the front that goes in there. And you've got your chapel building, which is a really fantastic building. Thanks so much for putting it on the wish list. I wouldn't have made it if it wasn't on there. It was one of the options, and I'm just like, okay, that's really cool. So There you go, great building, and of course it's got these really cool buttresses as well, which kind of fit around the outside and give it a really distinctive look. Okay, so the watermill. Here's the watermill here. I've actually still got it set up in its kind of alternate form, as it were. Not that there's only two forms, you can build it any way you like. But people wanted to have a closer look at the roof and how that works, etc. So I've kept this a very simple build, nice and tall. There's actually a little tunnel under here. If I move these little barrels out of the way, you can actually get access under here, and there's a little bit, you know, so this is kind of a different kind of build. You've got this nice balcony. I've used the fences up the top here to kind of create some extra railings and things that you know, health and safety, etc. And then you've got the roof here, which has got these two little support bits on here, which are held in under tension, and so you can see here you've got these little movable bits and pieces here. If I lift this roof off, whoop, you can see we've got this kind of flexi roof. Again, utilising the half cuts, but across the top this time. There you go. So you've got that, and then inside you've got your different levels. So you've got access to the levels in here, which is really cool. And again, you've got all the little moving windows and doors and bits and pieces in here. If I just open the door there, and all these little flaps open like so. So that's really cool, and you've got access through here. And then if I push that down, trapdoor leading there, you could definitely dump something on somebody's head down there. And yeah, opening doors and more hatches, etc. over on this side, which we can open, and we can open these ones inwards. So yeah, you've got this kind of mill, and then you've actually got the okay, so let's just put that back on there. We've then got the wheel itself. This is a really nice wheel. Probably not a load of lots of different photographs of that. Got a very simple slot system, but it makes it really strong and sturdy in place, plus this little kind of 3D feature on here. And the beauty of this is because it stands completely by itself and is strong, you can stick it anywhere you like, really. So you made one design with the wheels on the side here, you could have another one where it's on the front or around the side, or whatever the build is that you want to do. It gives you that opportunity, but you can also have it freestanding if you want to, you know, just have it sort of standing there and just imagine the workings go underground. Maybe there's a cool underwater thing coming or something, which would be a cool thing. And then you've got and so the watermill is like the chapel, like all the buildings. It's modular, you know, and it gives you an element of modularity that allows you to say, well, actually, I don't want this to be a watermill anymore. Chuck the wheel away and say, right, I just want this like wooden hut or this particular other thing that I particularly want. So again, the watermill, really nice building, really flexible, and lots of gadgets and play features on that particular building, which is really cool. Okay, so I've moved the camera again here just so that I can actually show you the really cool kind of build a house stretch goal thing that we've been doing, which is new to this Kickstarter. Really good idea, I think, because we're basically giving houses for free. Yeah, it started off as a single house and it's slowly building up. This is probably a bit of a sneak peek because it's got a little extra bit on the side, which is really cool. Definitely one of my favourite buildings, but I've got this camera so I can show you inside, and again you'll get an idea of how the houses work. So first of all, if I just remove the top layer, the roof, you can see here, just like all of our terrain, it's incredibly strong. I mean, I cannot stress enough how strong this is and how much abuse that I can give these particular buildings. Okay, yeah, and again you've got a little trapdoor in here which you can open, access the lower levels, windows open, etc, etc, etc. But we've also got these little side bits. Now, first of all, here you'll notice on this roof it's got a little cutaway to allow access to the chimney. It also has this like little loft area which you could put some counters in there, some sort of event card or some objective or anything that you could have that you could hide. So your guys have really got to search for things if you're playing like an RPG or skirmish kind of game. And you can see the top of the chimney just sticking up there. As always, a trapdoor. And then if we remove that, you've got the lovely little furnace inside. Now the furnace is connected to the chimney, so when you slot the chimney on, you get like all the goodness of the furnace action as well. You've got some double doors on here in this particular build, as it were, as well. Then if I pick this up, you can see that you've got access to the main part of the building here. probably the main entry, which is separate. So you've almost got like a little smithy side on one side, maybe the dwelling on here, and you'll notice, see these little side roofs have got like flat areas here, and they've got kind of sort of like jaggedy bits here, and that's allow it to butt up nice and straight against the buildings. You also might notice that this particular floor length here is slightly wider than the standard kind of square here, and that's what allows you to actually kind of build and extend on to some of the houses, which is really cool, just in itself. And you'll also notice some little grooves around the top here, and that's where all the different levels kind of slot in. So if I just pop this, whoops, if I just whoops, where's my, I've lost my, oh there it is, top of my house. I could not find top of my house. So when you see these bits here, where the floors are held on and clipped in, you'll notice that when we put this on the top here, it basically clicks and locks into place, and that locks that floor in from moving around. We've then got this little loft piece which just sits on the top. You've got your roof with a little side bit for the chimney that slots in there. And you've got your one on the other side which slots in there. Just move that out of the way a little bit. There we go. And of course your upper roof area which just sits on the top nicely like that. So you can see that this was the builder stretch goal. This was originally just a single house, and then we added a lower floor to it, and because that lower floor is slightly wider than some of the other floors, it allows you then to connect on an extension on the side and build onto that. And we've got like a canopy pagoda type thing on the other side, and you've already got this really nice kind of stretch building, which is really nice, kind of like a little sort of like Smithy's house with a little built-on forgy bit on the side. Really enjoy that particular house, and that is free. That is generating itself free, and you've already got I think the top and the bottom bit and the side bit and the chimney bit is coming, or you've already got it. I can't remember. So what about storage? You've got a beautiful table, you've had an amazing game, now you want to clear the table and store it away. This really is where this terrain comes into its own, because it does flat pack down into a really small space. Just check out the main video to see a speeded up version of that happening. To give you an idea of maybe what a pledge would fit into though, let me just demonstrate one of our other already available sets that flat packs down. I've got one here. I kept it fancy. This is our original dungeon core set. It even says dungeon core set on it. And this is how I store my dungeon. It flat packs down into this 4-litre box. Okay, and then when I do want to have the dungeon and use play a fantasy game or something like that, then I will basically just get this out, play on it, and then restore it back down into this size. This is a 4-litre box, so sort of box that you put like A4 sheets of paper in it. And this is quite a card heavy core set, so it's very similar to the pledge, the starting pledge. Obviously we're giving you a load of stretch goals as well, and although there is a bit of space in this box, I've added on another box on the top here. This is our Gothic set, which is probably similar kind of card count for the stretch goals at the moment, and there's still a lot of space in here. In fact, I've got the Gothic set in here, and I've got a load of core space dashboards and counters and bags and other bits and pieces. So you could see that each one of these boxes is going to store your pledge and then your stretch goals. To have an entire battlefield that can flat pack into something around about this size is pretty impressive as far as usability. And if you can store it well, you're more likely to use it and not have it kind of sold on or stored away in some hard to reach area of a loft or something. So as far as storage is concerned, that's a real winner as well. Okay, so hopefully that's helped. A little bit more detail on the buildings, but really just wanted to show you how well the two pledges blend together, even though I couldn't really get a lot of it out on the table. I also wanted to show you that chapel and the mill in a bit more detail as well, and maybe really delve inside one of the houses, which we've done with the builder house goal. Thanks very much so far for the support. Absolutely fantastic. Keep it going. We've got lots of stretch goals to go. as soon as this video is done and edited, I'm going to be straight back on the cutting table. I've got something else that I'm working on at the moment, which I'm trying to get out as quick as possible. I'm really enjoying this one, so hopefully you'll see that in the finished product. And staying on the comments, don't forget to share the project with as many people as possible. Every time you guys go out there and say, hey, I've just posted on this thing, on that, we're watching the influx, and that's earning those stretch goals, and it's really pushing the campaign forward. We're having a fantastic campaign, so yeah, thanks guys, keep it going, and until the next video or the next update, happy gaming.